is June the 20th, 2024, and I hope everybody's having a great day today. Today I want to talk about what medical detox was like for me. And before I get into today's video, I just want to go ahead and just say at the beginning of this that I'm not a doctor. I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not affiliated with any. What I'm telling you guys here is just my story and what I've experienced. So do not take anything I'm saying as advice. And if you are thinking about quitting alcohol or any other substance, please speak with a doctor. Alcohol and benzodiazepines are the two substances that if you stop abruptly can be life-threatening. And it really just depends on how long you've been drinking, the frequency of your drinking. I mean, there are a lot of factors, the type of alcohol that you drank. I mean, it just really depends. And you need to have a doctor make that decision for you. Because like I said, it can be life-threatening. You can end up with seizures. There's a lot of things that can happen if you just stopped abruptly. And it normally doesn't happen like the next day either. It takes a little while for the alcohol to get out of your system. And it can take a couple days before you actually start having seizures and stuff like that. So, you know, you might think that you're A-okay day 1, day 2, and then day 3 you start having seizures. So definitely speak with a doctor. And the thing with medical detox is that it can help you out so much. I went through a medical detox, and I tried to quit at least 100 times. I mean, really tried to quit at least 100 times before I finally did stop. And now I did get sick, and I was in the hospital when this happened. And I was told that they didn't know if they were going to be able to save my life or not. So there were some factors there. You know, I was in a life-threatening situation. And I was inpatient. I was in the hospital for over 2 weeks. I think it was like 16 days I was in the hospital. But during that period of time, you know, I was... You know, they had me on all kinds of medication to help me through it. And, you know, I was sick. I had a lot of other things going on during that period of time, too. I didn't feel well. I was very ill. I'd ended up getting ascites from the pancreatitis. It could have been liver-related. I'm not sure. I didn't find out that I had liver problems until months later. I knew my liver enzymes were elevated, my bilirubin was elevated and stuff like that, but I mean, that was to be expected because of the amount of drinking that I've been doing in the past. But they told me at the hospital that I should be fine. You know, don't drink again, and you should be A-okay. And I was really excited. I thought everything was good to go. I couldn't believe that my liver was fine. And that didn't end up being the case. Which I found out later on, but that's a story for another day, and I've talked about it a bunch of times here on the channel. But, so what was it like for me going into medical detox? Well, I've talked about this before, but I was home. I actually hadn't drank for a couple days before I actually went to the hospital. I had tried to drink, don't get me wrong. I was in the middle of pancreatitis, very, very sick. And I tried to drink a couple times. I just couldn't do it. I could not get it down. I had, now looking back and knowing what pancreatitis is, what it feels like, all that stuff, I had pancreatitis multiple times before this. As a matter of fact, I'd probably gotten pancreatitis every few months. My back would start hurting really bad, excruciating pain in my back. But I always, you know, chalked it up to being, I hurt my back. Because I had a pretty labor-intensive job, and I thought, you know, I did something, bent over. One time, the trailer that I used for my business popped off the hitch, and I was on a hill when it happened, and the only way I didn't have any wheel chocks to get behind the trailer, so I couldn't lift the trailer up and back the vehicle back up onto the tongue of the trailer. So I lifted the trailer up. Using my own strength, lifted it up, and I heard my back pop when that happened, and I kept attributing it to that, saying that I hurt my back when that happened, that must be what this is, but that was not it. But back to what happened, I ended up getting sick, couldn't stop vomiting, was very ill, I was throwing up blood, and then I ended up in the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, the doctor told me, you know, we're going to do everything that we can to keep you alive, but we don't know if we're going to be able to. And, you know, I understood. And That first night, I do remember the first night being there. Only little snippets. I remember exactly what I was wearing. I was wearing these blue and white, like checkered pajama pants and a white t-shirt. I remember exactly because I had changed my clothes. My wife and my mom helped me change my clothes before I left the house because I had thrown up all over myself. And I remember being at the hospital. I remember waiting in the waiting room at the emergency room. I remember asking my mom if she'd give me something to drink. She got me a Sprite. Uh, I remember going back into the emergency room, or the doctor talking to me. I remember them coming in and taking blood. I remember them starting a blood transfusion. I remember them bringing in the X-ray machine. They had like a wheel-in X-ray machine. They did a bunch of X-rays. I remember all that stuff. And I remember being in the back of the emergency room, like waiting in my room for them to take me up to my room. I remember all that, but after that, I don't remember anything. At least a week, maybe a couple days more. It might have been 9 days. I have no recollection of it at all. None. And from what I understand, I was on Ativan. They might have had me on some other medication, like some anti-seizure medication. I'm not exactly sure. I know for a fact I was on Ativan. My mom was actually a nurse at the hospital that I was at. And she knew what medications I was getting. I've talked to her since, and she told me they were giving you Ativan. And I've taken benzodiazepines in the past. I never abused benzodiazepines. I never abused pills ever. It just wasn't my thing. Alcohol was my drug of choice. I mean, just being completely honest with you guys. But benzos just never really agreed with me. My dentist used to prescribe me Valium when I would have to have dental work done, and he would give me 2. I would take one. I was supposed to take one the night before and the morning of. I never took the one from the night before, and only took half of what he prescribed for me in the morning before I went to my appointment. And I would have somebody drive me because the benzos would get me so incredibly messed up, and I did not like the way it made me feel. I would be really loopy, and it wasn't like a good feeling like being drunk. It was just kind of like this. It's really hard to describe. Just disassociated, I guess, is the best word I can come up with. I just felt really disassociated when I would take them, and I just didn't care for it. And I knew I wasn't allowed to drink when I would take benzodiazepines, so I just didn't want to take them because when I got done doing what I had to do, I wanted to have a beer or a drink or something. So I would only take half. But anytime I would take that, just a little half of Valium, and I don't even know what size it was. It was a very small pill. I would imagine it's probably about the smallest dose they can give you, but it would get me incredibly messed up, and I would be out of it for the entire day. So I can see why the Ativan, when they were giving it to me in the hospital, and I'm not sure how powerful Ativan is compared to all the other benzodiazepines. I don't know. I'm not really that versed on that. I would imagine it's a rather powerful drug in itself, just by how I was affected by it, because I have no recollection. I do not remember anything. I mean, when I say I don't remember anything, I mean absolutely nothing. I have no recollection of what happened when I was in the hospital for that 9 days. Now, after they removed me off the Ativan, I started to remember stuff, and I have memory after that, but I have absolutely no memory while I was on that medication. Did it help me? Absolutely. Because I could imagine that the withdrawals that I would have been going through would have been horrible. And I was really sick at the time too, so that would have just added to me being sick. It just would have made things worse. And I know they didn't want me to start going into seizures. I had so many things wrong with me, and not to mention they just don't want you to get go into seizures because it can be life-threatening. But like I said, I have no recollection. I have spoke to my wife after the fact, and my wife was actually really annoyed. I don't think she quite understood the process and what was going on with that, but I was intoxicated when I was in the hospital from what she told me. I was slurring my words. I was seeing people that weren't there. I was hallucinating while I was in the hospital. I kept saying that people were coming to visit me that didn't come. I was having conversations with people that were not there. I was completely out of it. And that's what happened. I just have no recollection of anything from that period of time, and that's what it was like for me. Uh, do I think that it helped? Absolutely. Would I suggest to anybody else does it? I don't know. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes, if if you have been drinking for a very long time and you're susceptible to maybe having seizures, I would definitely do it. It helped me, and I can say that all the times that I tried to quit, that time stuck. Uh, Now, was it necessarily just a medication? I don't think so. I absolutely think that I got scared. It scared me literally to death, and I stopped. I did not want to get sick like that again. Um, I was excited about my new life. That was the longest I'd gone without drinking in a very long time. And once I got to like that 1 month mark, I mean, I was super stoked to be able to say that I'd gone 1 month without drinking. I was very proud of myself. But like I said, I mean, the Ativan that they put me on, I was out of it. And that's probably a good thing because I didn't have to suffer through the withdrawals because they can be horrible. But there are a lot of comfort medications that they can put you on. And you don't necessarily have to be inpatient to go through a medical detox. They can do an outpatient on you as well. I don't know exactly how that works. I would imagine they probably don't send you home with those medications because they're going to be afraid that you're going to abuse them probably. But they might. It's probably something where you have to go up there daily and they give you your medication and then you go home or whatever. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that there is outpatient medical detox and there's inpatient as well. So you don't necessarily have to go to the hospital or to a detox center or a rehab facility and spend a month in there. There are ways around it. But please do yourself a favor, and if you have been drinking for a long period of time and drinking very high amounts of alcohol, or even if you've just been drinking for a long period of time and not a whole lot of alcohol, you still have the potential that you could go into seizures. And please let your doctor make that decision for you, because you just don't want to end up like that. And like I said, there are programs out there. There's outpatient programs that you can go into. You don't have to tell everybody your business. It's not like you have to go into a rehab facility for 30 days and stay in there and tell your work what's going on and all that kind of stuff. You could go speak to your doctor, see if there's, an outpatient facility near to you, what they could do for you. And I'm sure that you could continue to go to work just like normal. You might need to take a few days off or something, but you don't have to tell your job or anybody what you're doing. I know how embarrassing it is. Trust me. That's the reason I didn't go to rehab for as long as I did. I had people that wanted me to go. Family members that were really pushing me to go to rehab. And I kept saying, no, no, no. I can do it on my own. I promise I'm going to stop. I promise, I promise, I promise. The constant I promise, telling lies, knowing deep down inside that I wasn't going to, but I really wanted to. And, the point is, yeah, maybe it's, you might not have a rehab facility or something right in your town, but I'm sure there's going to be something close to you. But don't put yourself in that situation where you're going to end up with seizures and stuff. It's just not worth it. But like I said, I don't even remember going through the process. Now, after I got out of the hospital, did I still have withdrawals? I absolutely did. I still had night sweats for quite some time after I got out of the hospital, and I had been alcohol free for a couple weeks at that point, and still after I went home, I was still having night sweats, crazy dreams every single night. Did alcohol cross through my mind? Absolutely. I thought about it every single day, and still do think about alcohol to this day. Yeah, that first month or so wasn't easy. It was a constant battle. Every time I drive by the gas station, I'd think about stopping in and getting a beer, or anytime I'd stop by the liquor store that I used to go to, I'd think about stopping in there, but I just didn't stop, and I kept going home. And what I started doing too is instead of stopping at the gas station and getting myself like a 12-pack of beer, once I started feeling comfortable enough that I could go into a gas station, I used to do this thing where I'd just stop in the gas station and get myself like a diet soda or like a, a flavored water or something like that. But I would treat myself to like a carbonated beverage, a diet carbonated beverage, whatever I could find that was diet. I couldn't drink regular soda anymore. But I would just go in there and find something diet and try it out. And I tried all these different flavors of sodas and stuff, and I would just grab one on the way home every day. But it gave me something to look forward to at the end of the day, and I enjoyed it. And I really liked trying all those different drinks. Do I still do that now? No. But during that period of time, it gave me something to look forward to at the end of the day. And instead of driving home with a cold beer in my hand, I drove home with a Diet Sprite in my hand. And I would drink it really fast, just like I was drinking my other drink. And it just kind of took the edge off a little bit. And then I would just go home. And a lot of times, and for any of you guys that are, just starting this journey, and you're a week in, 2 weeks in, whatever, there's nothing wrong with going to work, coming home, and just getting in the bed. Don't tempt yourself. I did that for months. I'm not even joking with you guys. For months. I came home. When I would get off work, when I got done for the day, I came home. I laid right in my bed. I would take my clothes off and get in my bed. I would take my shower, get in the bed, and I did not move for the rest of the night because I could not tempt myself. I did not want to start moving around, doing things. Trust me, there were a lot of things I wanted to get done. I wanted to get outside and cut my grass, but I knew that if I did, I was going to be tempted to just stop and get some beer because I always drank when I cut the grass. So it was one of those things where I had to do it on my day off, and I had to get up really early in the morning and go out there and get it knocked out and then go straight inside and lay down after that. It's okay. Do what you need to do because the payoff in the end is worth it so much more. Don't feel bad about yourself that you're just going inside and laying down and watching TV or sitting on your couch and plopping down and watching TV and getting some popcorn and a snack or whatever it is that you're doing. Do whatever you got to do to make yourself comfortable enough to make it through it because I know how hard it is. It's not easy, but it's worth it in the end, guys. And like I said, if this is a decision that you're thinking about making, and you're scared and you don't know what to do and you've tried to quit a bunch of times, you just never could make it through the withdrawal, speak to your doctor about a medical detox because it helped me tremendously, and I haven't looked back since. And like I said, it can really help you through those withdrawals. I didn't experience any withdrawals. I don't remember them at all. If I did, I don't remember it. Now, did I feel withdrawal symptoms after I got out of the hospital? Yeah, like I said, I would have night sweats. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, my clothes would be soaking wet. For probably about 2 months, I would have to get up in the middle of the night every night and change my clothes because they would get so wet from sweating in the middle of the night. And that went on, like I said, for about 2 months. I mean, my clothes would literally, I could wring them out. They were that wet. But it finally started going away. And there were a lot of days where I'd work out in the heat all day long, and man, a nice cold beer would have been nice. But you know what else was nice? Just a nice cold carbonated water. It went down just the same as that beer did. It's just when I drank that carbonated water, I didn't feel like crap the next day. And I didn't feel bad about myself for indulging in my desires. But like I said, medical detox is an option, and you don't have to go to a hospital and be admitted. You can go through an outpatient, and there are options out there. And like I said, I just wanted to talk about this today because I went through medical detox. Don't be embarrassed. There's nothing wrong with it. You do not have to quit cold turkey. I know there are a lot of people out there that do it, and there's people that swear by it, and they think that's the only way to go. That's not the case. Whatever is going to take you to get from point A to point B, and it's going to help you live a more fulfilling life and break those chains of the alcohol, you need to do what you need to do. Do not feel bad about it, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's a cheat code at all. I think whatever we need to do to be able to break those chains, we got to do what we have to do. And don't worry about what anybody else thinks about you. Just do what you need to do for yourself, for your family, or for whoever else. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. You need to take care of you. This is the one time that, thinking about ourselves and worrying about ourselves instead of others. This is the one time where this is really important. It's not narcissistic at all. I mean, this is, you want to live, and you want to live a life not like what I was talking about yesterday. The constant worrying about when am I going to get my next drink, and how much longer till I get off work so I can drink, and you know, I need to have a drink before I can even drive, and it's just not worth it. It's just constantly chasing the alcohol and the anxiety that comes along with, man, I only have $5 in my account and I need a half gallon of vodka today, and a half a pint's not going to make it. So how am I going to figure out how to get intoxicated and not go through withdrawal? You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure most of you have been there. The constant worry about where's the next bottle? How am I going to hide it? You know, are people going to smell this on me? The constant walk around with a mint in your mouth, or talking like this so people don't smell your breath, or standing back 20 feet from people because you don't want them to smell it. All things come along there. The constant, every single time you see a Crown Victoria in the rearview mirror, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a police officer. I'm going to jail. If they pull me over, I'm going to jail. Once you stop, you don't have to ever worry about that ever again. You can see a police officer behind you and you won't even look twice. The only thing you might look at is, am I speeding? It's so much better to live free from that substance. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to do a brief little talk about what it was like going through medical detox, and that's what it was. I really don't remember it, but I didn't have any real withdrawal symptoms. Not that I remember. It helped me out through it so much. And it helped me so much I don't even remember it. So if it did that for me, it could probably do the same for you. And like I said, you don't have to go to a rehab facility. There are outpatient options out there for you, and you could continue to live your life just like you normally do. You just have a little bit of an inconvenience of dealing with that outpatient facility and then going on with your life. But please talk with a doctor if that's something you're considering doing and you've been drinking for quite some time. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. I do want to go ahead and say real quick, though, that I will be doing a live video again. I'm going to go ahead and do the live on Saturday this week opposed to Friday. I just would rather do it Saturday morning. I'm going to go ahead and do the live at 11 o'clock on Saturday. So really looking forward to you guys being there. Anybody that can hop in and join. The last one was a whole lot of fun. We really had a good time. We got on all kinds of different subjects. We didn't just sit around talking about alcohol the whole time. We talked about all kinds of things, and I'm just going to let this kind of flow, and just like it was last time. But I'd love to see any of you guys there. It's going to be 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will put a reminder up on Saturday. I'm going to do a regular video as normal tomorrow, and then, like I said, Saturday morning at 11, we'll be doing the live. And I'd love to see you there. David, I'd love to see you there with your wrench. I already said it in the comments, but I'm sure you'll see this video. And I'd love to have you there, man. And anybody else that can join in, I'd love to see you. And until tomorrow, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Love you guys so much. Bye-bye.